Hi everyone, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Friday, July 9th of the year 2021, and this is going to be FlossTube number 62. So as always, I want to welcome you all. Welcome back to all my current viewers and subscribers, and thank you, as always, for your continuing support. I also want to thank and welcome any new subscribers. I did receive a bit of an uptick in new subscribers since I uploaded my whip parade last weekend, so thank you very much for your support, and I hope you continue to enjoy the content that I have for you. And if this is your first time watching, then I hope that you like what you see and you consider subscribing and continue to follow me on my stitching journey. I hope that everybody's doing well. I hope that everybody's staying safe and sound. I know that a lot of people are going off on their summer vacations now that, things are slowly but surely going back to a new normal. So I hope that you guys are enjoying yourself and continue to be safe. Everything's good on our end. There's no vacations planned, but we are enjoying the nice weather. It's Long Beach, California, so most of the time we get nice weather. Anyways, I do have a bit to show you today. I'm gonna go ahead and skip I'm gonna assume that I'm sure you guys have seen the whip parades probably, but in case you haven't, I'll just go ahead and pretend that it didn't happen and just show you the updates from the last update that I did. Actually would have been, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? I don't even know. But regardless, let's just get to the stitching, shall we? And as always, first and foremost, I want to show you my oldest whip that I'm working on. This is Hoggers Castle at Night by the Stitching Girl on Etsy. And I have found my groove with it again. I'm very happy. For a while, the last couple of months, I just haven't, for whatever reason. I have continued to stitch on it, but I wasn't too enthused by it. And then for whatever reason, as soon as the new month came around, excuse me, I have like hiccups. But as soon as the new month rolled around, it suddenly was like boom, the inspiration kicked in, and I've been working on it like crazy. So here we are. That, ladies and gentlemen, is all that is left. That little corner you see right here. So this will be the last update I show. The next time you see it, it'll be a finish, which is super exciting. I hit 97% this week. And of that 97%, well, okay, of the 3% that I have done or left to do, there's only 1,600 black stitches. I mean, considering I started at 62,000, 1,600 it's nothing. But yeah, so this is what I have so far. And again, I'm very excited, super excited. I'm trying to go for at least 300 daily stitches, even though I think technically I would only need 180 to be able to finish it by the end of the month. Just between some of the, because I do use this for a lot of the prompts in my challenge groups, and most of them, they ask for a minimum of 200 stitches, 250 for enchanted stitching. So I just went ahead and rounded it up to 300 stitches. So it's great. Again, I'm probably, by the time I record another FlossTube update, it'll be a finish. I'm aiming for a finish in the 3rd week of July as opposed to the end of July with that 300 daily stitch goal. Another piece that I worked on the last couple of weeks is my Flowers of the Galaxy piece by 2x2 Stitch Art. This one I started back in July of 2020, and I'm happy to say that I just finished it this week. So here we are. Last week, I finished it on July 2nd, which is really interesting because I started it on July 3rd and I didn't realize it. I thought I had started it back in October instead of July. So when I picked up my stitching journal to add the date finished info, that's when I noticed that I started on July 3rd and I finished it on July 2nd. So I just closed it in at 1 year, pretty much. It's a lovely stitch. It was a lovely stitch. I started along with Shell from Shell Stitches, and yeah, it was just really nice. It was just 6 colors, including the white for like the little stars all over. So 5 shades of blue / teal and the white, and there is a purple colorway for this as well. So yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. I did, struggle a little bit with the black Ada, but I knew that it had to be done on black. I didn't want to do it on white because I knew that it would pop really nicely on black. And again, just 14 count black Ada from Michaels. But yeah, I'm gonna consider that my finish for the month of June. I want to be able to finish at least 1 piece per month. So I wasn't able to finish anything in June, so that counted for June since it was, the beginning of July. Obviously Hogwarts Castle is going to count for my big July finish. Honestly, like my big finish of the year, like regardless of what month it is. And the next piece I want to finish is Bilbo. So disclaimer, all those pieces that I showed you last video, the last update, when I told you this is what I'm gonna be working on, most if not all of those haven't gotten touched on at all. But I'll show you what I did work on, right? And the reason being is because I just started going back to doing my challenge groups. So that was another thing that kind of screwed up my stitching mojo the last few months, is I haven't been doing the challenge groups per se. If I did them, it would be like penalty stitches, or I would do the year-long or the month-long challenges. So these last couple of weeks, this last week more than anything else, it was back to basics. It was back to doing the weekly tasks, and I feel like that's helped a lot. So another piece that I worked on is my Heaven and Earth Designs piece by Julie Fain. This is Mini Midnight Stroll, and I used this for some of the daily 30 prompts this week, or technically I guess the weekly tasks, because we have 2 weeks, so they're actually 2 week instead of weekly tasks. I just call them weekly because they come out every week, but you have 2 weeks to do the prompts, and it came out last week. So this today actually would have been the last day to do those prompts, so I managed to finish those. And that one I used for, let's see here, I used it for a body of water. It was the theme for the weekly prompt was summertime, so I used it for a body of water because she's standing over a lake. I'm pretty sure it's a lake. And then something that's set outdoors. So again, she's in the middle of a lake. So this is what I have so far. And I've also been using this for one of the monthly Enchanted Stitching challenges. We needed to work on something that could be a tattoo, because the movie for the month is Moana, and all the monthly prompts are inspired by I just lost his name, the rocks character. Because he's a demigod, he's done all these things, and So every prompt is inspired by the song he sings of all his achievements. And so this prompt says, stitch on something that he could get a tattoo of. So I said he could either get a tattoo of the moon or even the silhouette of a fairy, like if he happens to come across a fairy. But this is what I have so far. I have done 800 stitches. I did 800 stitches. I think I actually hit 1,000 last night because I did do a couple hundred more. And so the plan is to just continue stitching on her. Magical Stitches kind of threw a curveball. Well, I guess it was also kind of planned. July is technically our midterm break, so I was counting on the monthly challenge where we had to stitch 500, 1,000, and 1,500 increment sets of stitches. So I wanted to use this for the 1,500, but then because it's our midterm break, there's no monthly. So I have to kind of discipline myself and make sure that I get them done anyways, make sure that I stay on track. But so yeah, so I'll go ahead and add the 500 stitches that I have left to do for the first week of July, and I'm going to keep working on her this week because for Semi-Sane we're doing Choose My Whip in July, where you post 2 or 3 whips that you're willing to work on for a week, at least 500 stitches, and then everybody else who's participating in the event gets to vote on their favorite. So you get to stitch on whatever the winner is. For the first week, the Flowers of the Galaxy was the winner, so I got that done pretty quickly, clearly. So then I stitched on the runner-up, which I'll show you in a second, and then this one was the winner for week 2. So I'm definitely gonna keep working on her this week for sure. And another piece that I worked on for the daily 30 prompts is 3 Things Sampler. I would like to touch all of the charts that I started back in July of 2020. If you guys saw my whip parade, or if you guys remember, if you've been been around long enough, then you know that back in July I started probably a dozen projects within a couple of weeks. So this was one of them. I started this in honor of my friend Laurel because she's stitching this as well. 3 Things Sampler by Maura Blackburn, and I used it for a prompt where we had to stitch on something that had 2 items of the same size. So this design has two trees, and they're pretty much the same size. So that was that. And this is what I have so far. So I did add 400 stitches for that prompt. I added I'm pretty sure I started with the E. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I started with the E, F, G, and then down here I did the U and the V, and then this little line that goes in the middle. So that was 400 stitches done, and I'm doing this on a 14 or 16 count cappuccino froth cappuccino froth dyed by Fiona of Fiona's Craft Cottage. Needle minder, believe, was by Stitching Button. So I'll go ahead and keep going on this because I do have it slated for one of the monthly Enchanted Stitching Challenge prompts. We have to work on something with animals, and we had to add 1,000 stitches to it. So I did 400, and now I do have it set for another daily 30 prompt. We have to work on something with a house. So again, big house down at the bottom. I haven't gotten to it yet, but you don't have to stitch on the item as long as it's in the design it counts. So that's another 300 stitches the monthlies are always 300 stitches. So it'll be 700 out of 1,000. I may add it to another weekly prompt to go ahead and just get it done with. But I'm very excited. The goal is to go ahead and keep going with pretty much from this motif on and upwards. Get it done all the way to the other side. So there's a basket. Well, I shouldn't say basket. It's more like a bouquet, really, because it's flowers. So it's like little basket, two flower baskets. So I'll go ahead and stitch those, and then keep going with the alphabet down and the flowers at the top, of course. So yeah, I'm really enjoying stitching on this. I haven't stitched on it in quite a while, and it's really enjoyable. It's a very nice stitch. And if any of you follow Yanni's Stitcher, then you'll know that she's already finished hers. She powered through it. She put me to shame. So the last piece I want to show you is the piece that I put up for Choose My Whip, the week 1 whip. The winner, or the runner-up, I should say, because the winner was Flowers of the Galaxy, but the runner-up was my Mirabilia. This is Portrait of Veronica. And as I mentioned, I want to try to touch all the projects that I started. So this was my actual birthday start. I started this on July 13th. So I wanted to work on it a little bit. And this is what I have so far. And I had a bit, the fabric's coming out real nicely. No, not so much. Okay, there we go, a little bit cooler. I had a bit of a mishap on this one because I had to frog pretty much everything that I'd done, maybe like 3/4 of it. It was all of this right here was wrong. All this black was 1 stitch short. Like the row was 1 stitch short. And Shell, actually, I'm pretty sure she's Shell. Was it Shell? Maybe it was somebody else. I got a message on Instagram saying, well, can't you just fudge it? Can't you just go ahead and fudge it and make up for it? And I thought I technically could, but I started in the middle. It was a center start, you know, somewhere over here. So if I fudged that, I would have to fudge everything else. I would have to pretty much, yeah, I would have to fiddle around with the rest of it, and I didn't want to do that. So I went ahead and frogged it. I thought that was the lesser of 2 evils, if you will. So I got 300 stitches done on her after after I frogged everything. I do want to go ahead and keep her out, maybe work on her a little bit more. The 300 stitches went to one of the monthlies for daily 30. We had to stitch on a piece that had clothes somewhere in there. So she's got a gorgeous dress, and I thought, sure, why not? And a lot of it was also double dip with the, well, not a lot, but so this one specifically was double dip with the Enchanted Stitching prompt, where we had to stitch on something that has made us laugh and or cry. And so, like, I loved working on this, but when I realized my mistake, I wanted to cry. And I used Hoggers for a prompt where we had to work on something whilst we were like ignoring our responsibilities, because Moana keeps going off and she keeps, you know, wanting to go to the sea, right? Like, she's just called by the sea, and she's kind of not doing her chores or whatever she needs to do. So I worked on Hoggers because I'm just like, I really should be doing maybe housework, but I'd rather be stitching. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been working on so far. This week it's going to be Hogwarts for sure, and I'm going to keep working on all the birthday starts from July. I still have the plans from the last update, because I can always use it for the weekly prompts, which again, I'm very excited to be back into it. I have 2 more prompts to go for the Enchanted Stitching Challenge. One of them is we have to do a whip that has sea creatures because of the baby turtles that Moana tries to help along to get to the water, to the ocean. And then the third one, we have to work on something that has either green colors or something that's glowing because of the heart, right? The little rock that she gets in the beginning of the movie. So it's going to be Ursula for the sea creatures, and then sea glass for the green/glowing, because it's got all the greens. So I'll go ahead and get working on those, and double dip with some of the daily 30 prompts so I can get them done. Again, I'm just very happy to be back into the groove of the weekly challenges. Aside from that, I do want to keep going on mini midnight stroll so I can finish the 1500 that I was supposed to finish this week for the first week of July, because again, it's 1500 per week in order to be on track. So I'll just keep working on her steadily. Maybe I'll I don't know if I'll do a daily thing, but just make sure that I work on her on a regular basis all month. So yeah, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions about the whips that you saw today, feel free to leave me a comment. I always leave the links down below. If something generic, sometimes I do just post the generic websites like Heaven and Earth Designs, Tilts and Crafts, because there's just so many whips that I have from those particular designers. But thank you for joining me. As always, I hope that you guys have a relaxing weekend, a productive week, and you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. Until next time, bye.